Dan Wetzel is with us now, national columnist, Yahoo Sports. He joins us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Dan? How are you?
I am well. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Thanks a lot. We always love talking to Dan, but sometimes paths intersect. Dan makes his home in Detroit, not too far from Ann Arbor. I am curious how the Juwan Howard, we've seen how it's playing nationally. How is it playing in the greater Ann Arbor, Detroit, Michigan area, Dan?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's, how severe the punishment depends if you're talking to a Michigan State fan or a Michigan fan. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a big story. What do you do with them? I think, there's still a few unanswered questions and people want to hear some more about exactly what set them off. But I would not say it's universal support for them. I mean, I think just about anybody would say, even if there was some mistakes by the Wisconsin coach guard and all that, you can't be throwing and slapping anybody upside the head when you're a college basketball coach, a head coach. I mean, it's just not acceptable behavior in any form. You're not a player anymore. It wouldn't be acceptable then, but it's just with great salary comes great responsibility, and Juwan Howard failed on that part, regardless of the circumstances around it.
Look, I'm one of those that I think we're way too sensitive in society, Dan. I think you agree with a lot of that. I do agree with you with the responsibility part. But Juwan Howard, we saw a situation last year at the Big Ten tournament with Mark Turgeon from Maryland. Then you saw what happens yesterday. I mean, overall, is he an angry guy? Is there history here?
I don't think he's an angry guy. I think he's an intense guy. I thought the most concerning thing last year when he kind of got into it with Turgeon, and obviously nothing really happened there, and that's kind of more of the coach battles we've seen in the past where it's, maybe a little posturing from 50 feet away, was, he was like, hey, look, when I was raised, I was taught by, you stand your ground, and if someone says something like that, you've got to back yourself up. That's all great when you're 10 on a playground or on the street or wherever you're at. When you're the head coach of a college basketball team, you have to act differently. I mean, that's, you just have to. You're the leader. And so when you're in different social situations, you act differently. And so that was a little concerning to me, was that was that attitude. But Juwan Howard, when you talk to him, very cerebral and typical leadership coach and all of that. I think when he got challenged there, I thought when Greg Gard, he clearly was upset, whether he should have been or not. I mean, he was pressing, Gard calls timeout, you go back and forth on it, who started it, whatever. He tried to separate himself from it. He took some extra time to go through the line. And he basically was trying to just blow through the line and just say, hey, I'm not going to forget this. And he wanted to keep walking. And Gard stopped him and decided, he was going to explain this to him, which is not the time for that explanation. And I think that's what really set him off. Now, I'm not blaming this on Greg Gard, because if you're Juwan Howard, you just can't later on take a swing at anybody. We don't know what got said in that circumstance. There's still a lot to know. But he was trying to just kind of get out of there and just breeze through that handshake line, which we see very often in college basketball or even college football, with that kind of dead fish handshake and you're gone. And I thought for Gard to try to stop him, let me explain this to you. Later he said, I don't think he knows the rule about resetting the 10-second clock, which I thought was incredibly patronizing, and I'm sure did not go over well. I mean, Juwan Howard played like 18 years in the NBA.
I think he's got it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the one to Juwan Howard doesn't know the rules of basketball. Like, maybe, but like for him to say that, when it's the little things to me in these battles. Like I said, a year ago when he's like, well, this is how my grandmother taught me how to. Well, that's great. She wasn't talking to you when you were the head coach of a college basketball program. Or, when you sit there and say this why maybe he didn't know the rules. That kind of arrogance probably comes through in all their other interactions. So there's a lot of blame to go around here. But at that same time, I mean, if you have multiple suspensions and all that, that's fine. You still can't swing at anybody, right? And so I still kind of want to know what the Wisconsin assistant Joe Krabenhoff said that got because Howard didn't take a swing at Greg Gard. He took a swing at the assistant coach.
Yeah.
What got said that set him off? And if you're the assistant coach, you're not using the situation here. You're literally flaring it back up. So at the same time, it's like, what's that guy doing? Like, what are you doing? You're the assistant. That's not like everyone get back. It's, I'm going to go taunt this dude. And so I just think there's a lot of blame. I mean, it was just a thing. But in terms of too sensitive, yeah, like I'm a hockey fan, and like this is a 2-minute minor.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
I mean, like I hate to be like this is the end of civilization, like some of the stuff. Like whatever, I mean.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, Dan. We have multiple TVs here, and I won't name the show, but they always have debates on all these shows that are on our screens here. And the bottom line, because we don't have the audio up, the first debate was, should Juwan Howard be fired? And then the next debate was, should we eliminate handshake lines at the end of the game? I was like, my God, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, two guys get into this thing. And again, like there's always these different rules in different sports. Like I said, it's a 2-minute minor. If that, you watch at the end of any. There's a hockey game on. I'm watching hockey right now, so they'll start shoving their gloves in people's faces. I like MMA. What I mean, like it's just like, come on, all right. He blew his. He can't do it. You're the head coach of a major university. There's different rules. I get all of that, but the idea that like Juwan Howard needs to. They'll never be a coach again because of this moment.
Yeah.
It's good video. This is the problem with these scandals, right? It's good video. Like, look at, I mean, I don't really have a problem with this either, but like, Mark, you got a DUI last offseason. Like, that's a much worse decision than this. But there wasn't video. So it's like, it's a press release and no one remembers it, right? And I'm not trying to say anything bad. Mark, you should never coach again either. But that's a hell of a lot worse decision than whatever happened here, where you're getting jawed at by some assistant coach.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And if using your hockey analogy, if it was minor league hockey, they would have each gotten like $100 gift card to a local steakhouse because they're going to pack the stands the next game, right?
Well, yeah, it's good for the sport. It's got everyone talking college hoops, right?
Yeah.
Like I've never been the brawl Mars game. Like, who the hell paid attention to this game anyway? Like, Wisconsin beat Michigan. Nobody even knew. Oh, yeah, okay, great. Like, I didn't even know the game happened.
Hey, Dan, hard to believe it's been over 2 years since you guys released Killer Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez. We all enjoyed it. We watched it. We've talked to you about it before. But I was going to ask you, best crime documentary you've ever seen?
Best crime doc I've ever seen. Huh.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I always wonder what Brown tells you and convinces you to come on our show, because our topics are always everywhere.
Yeah, I told Dan we were going to talk about geopolitical unrest in Ukraine.
Yeah, because
can we get to that?
I have a note here.
I thought it was kind of a simple question. Sorry.
I saw
it's
you.
Like the guys on there's guys on Twitter that will one minute they're lecturing you about the 10-second rule, resetting the 10-second rule, then they're deciding whether we have good. Right. I'm like, okay, glad you have all the answers here. I mean, I don't know. That's an excellent question. I love the original was Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 10 the first season of Making a Murderer.
Did they ever figure that out, by the way?
I think everybody's still in the clink.
Oh, they didn't. Yeah, everyone's still in the clink. One guy, I'm convinced is innocent. The other, I'm not so sure. But the younger guy, who now.
Yeah, I think they determined he did not get adequate representation. Which, if you watch the documentary, it was pretty obvious he did not.
Yeah, well, it was terrible. Yeah, it was awful. I still find that to be that was incredibly gripping television. That kind of rebooted the true crime documentary, and it made Netflix in a huge way.
Yeah.
so many people bought it to watch that because it was such compelling. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay,
That's a good
fair
answer.
enough. Yep.
Second season is not good of that. The first one is great.
You covered a lot of the Winter Olympics. I saw you writing some stuff. More of a problem in the Winter Olympics: Russian doping or frozen body parts in skiing.
Yeah, that frozen body part story. I mean, look, there's always cheating at the Olympics, but we don't always have frozen appendages.
It's true.
So,
it was the second time for him, Dan. The second. How do you let that happen twice?
I mean, I guess there's just no way to really properly insulate that without, I'm not sure. I'll tell you this: I ain't taking up cross country skiing after that story.
Yeah, I'm not trying that one.
No.
He is Dan Wetzel, New York Times bestseller on Twitter at Dan Wetzel. Get his book for kids, Epic Athletes, series of book of athletes. Lance mentioned Killer Inside. He's done so much.
Somehow when you said that, I pictured Dan writing a book on cross-country skiing and frozen wee-wees.
Well,
and then a good segue to my uplifting middle school book.
That's right.
We had the murder doc and that, and Curry Epic Athletes, a little more lighthearted and inspirational.
Dan has range. Dan has range. At Dan Wetzel.
There's no Aaron Hernandez Epic Athlete. We did not.
Thank you, Dan. Have a great week.
Thanks.
All right, Dan Wetzel with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.